Hello, good evening. I'm going live, quote unquote, 5 minutes early because I'm afraid of getting booted off again, like when I wait right up to the time. So, hi, Sandra and Elaine, Annabelle, Julie, Carolyn, great to see you. Lovely. Happy Wednesday. Greetings from Ottawa. That's lovely. Thanks for joining. You didn't have to commute all the way to Fergus. Hi, Supriya. It's so fun to be able to share practice and teachings with folks that we couldn't do without all that is the way it is. Hey, Zach, good to see you here. Hello, Helena. Yay. Hi, Marcus. Yes, beautiful Sangha. I agree. So just while folks are tuning in, and I'll start officially at 7:30. 4 more minutes. So, but as you're coming on board or waiting, perhaps reflect on, or if you care to write it in the chat, what you have faith in these days. What you have faith in. I'm interested to hear. Change, faith in change. Nice, thank you, Zach. Yeah, impermanence, change. This is the one thing we can rely upon and trust. This is a given. I have a challenge tonight because I have 3 poems. Faith in the constancy of my family. Right on. That's lovely. So true. As Zach said, faith in change as well. Helena's saying that as well. Whether it's a good thing, not a good thing, a boring thing, it will pass. The planet's natural ability to heal regardless of our human actions. Oh boy, may it be so. Yes. Thank you, Supriya. These are great to hear, folks. Yeah, I have 3 poems tonight, so I've narrowed it down to 2, but it's hard. I might be able to squeeze in all 3. We'll see. All right. Oh, these clocks say different things. Almost 7:30. I was thinking that maybe I get booted off sometimes because I start chatting with people before I hit go live, and I thought maybe that's what the glitch is. So I thought I'll just go live earlier and say hello. Hi, Cassie. Good to see you. I know, but good to feel your presence. Okay. So just for folks that have tuned in after, just on here chatting a bit, feel free to add in the chat bar here what it is you have faith in, because obviously that's what the topic is tonight. So partially this, after I gave the talk on Saturday, and then as soon as that's done, I start thinking, what am I going to teach about next? And I have like all these days until Wednesday just to let that simmer and mull. And sometimes it gets quite panicky as I get close, and I'm like, I still don't know. And then it just something comes, and I actually have a kind of a faith in that now. A kind of a trust that something will come. And that trust or faith is just based on experience, on many, many times of wondering, what am I going to teach? And faith in myself, my strength to face what comes. That's awesome, Annabelle. Love it. Faith in the practice, yes, of our daily meditation. That's one of many things I have faith, and also the smiles and playfulness in children. Oh, lovely practice. Thank you. So this topic kind of clicked because of conversations having on Facebook with my brother-in-law, Tim. And I said, I'm going to be talking about you tonight. So there's a couple different, there was a thread on Facebook that he joined in. It was, and then we had some private messaging through a large portion of today, back and forth. We solved everything, basically. We covered a lot of stuff, but it was, to me, I mean, the conversation started around environmental despair, around the awareness of the degradation of our earth, and the reality of climate change and its effect. And so that, of course, became a big discussion about, not directly, but for me, some of the underlying bits were about hope, about faith, about culture, truth. Yeah. And the unsaid, I just think there's a lot of fear and despair at this time when we're in such crisis, environmentally, globally, which is of course a part of this whole health pandemic. So that initial conversation sparked me to look at, what does it mean to have faith, and how does that affect and work with doubt, the hindrance of doubt. And I still remember quite vividly when in my mentorship with my teachers, and there was a group of us studying the suttas, studying the Dharma, and they kind of asked at the end of one of our sessions, what other topics would people like us to teach about, as I often do here. What else are you interested in? And a couple people, well, first one said faith, and I was like, what? What? I can still totally remember that reaction. And a couple other people were like, yeah, faith. I'd love to talk about faith. I was so puzzled. I was like, what are they talking about? What does faith have to do with this? Okay, so you may not know this context, but I'm a daughter of a minister, United Church minister. And maybe there's a pretty true generalization of children of clergy to be quite rebellious and Well, it can go either way, but yeah, reactive. I think as we all are, maybe to our parents to some degree. So my father being a minister, then that was something I rebelled against and questioned a lot. But also he really encouraged questioning, and we did this a lot together, which was great. Thank you for that, Dad. Um, so I already have that in my background, but then and also what I thought I understood of the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, is that it's based on insight, wisdom of really knowing the nature of things, as Kathy has just said here, faith in Buddha nature, basic goodness, or however a person names it. Thank you. That yeah, it was kind of more about understanding, knowing how things are, the true nature of things, as a couple folks have said here. Zach was saying, and Helena as well, a change, impermanence. We know that this is a characteristic of all things, and we also, and through that unreliability, and we see the interconnectedness of all things. And so understanding these characteristics is kind of one of the basic roots of the practice. So I was really confused when they were started to talk about, what does the Buddha say about faith? I was like, what? The Buddha says something about faith? That was news to me. And then to find out that it's actually referred to a lot. That was wonderfully exciting and interesting. And but of course, there's a twist. There's three different kinds of faith I'd like to talk about tonight. And so what the Buddha teaches is not what is called blind faith. Blind faith we could describe as being, just following blindly, just take it on faith, just do as I say, do as this book says, do as you're told, all the ways that is handed down to us. And traditionally, this is thought of as faith. And a lot of us may have a lot of trigger and even trauma from experiences in faith traditions where that top-down authoritative imposition of a truth or a teaching is, if you question that, then you don't have enough faith. Yeah. So you may be able to assume that this is not what the Buddha was teaching. Definitely not blind faith. In fact, this is from the suttas. So I wasn't going to say this now, but it's fitting right now, so I'm going to. The Buddha advised not to believe something on mere hearsay or by mere tradition, on account of mere rumors, just because it accords with your scriptures, by mere suppositions, by mere inference, by merely considering the reasons, merely because it agrees with your preconceived notions, because the speaker seems a good person, because the speaker is someone respected by you. These are all things that in the teachings, as they're written down, reportedly from the Buddha, these are not reasons to believe. These are not reasons for faith, merely because it's tradition, because of rumors, because it's in your scriptures, by suppositions, by thinking about it, by inference, by considering the reasons, not good enough. merely because it agrees with your ideas, or just because the person who's saying it seems like a good and respectful person. And then he goes on to say, when you know for yourselves, these things are immoral, these things are blameworthy, these things are censured by the wise, these things, when undertaken and performed, conduce to ruin and sorrow, they should be rejected. And when you know for yourselves these things are moral, these things are blameless, these things are praised by the wise, these things, when undertaken and performed, conduce to well-being and happiness, then you should live accordingly. Yeah. So this is what we are pointing to when we're talking about what to have faith in. And as you've commented here in the chats, these are the things that you have all listed here are things that you know directly. This is from your direct experience, and you know that they're conducive to well-being, to wisdom, to kindness. These are things that are upheld and conducive to happiness. Okay, so not blind faith. We're not talking about blind faith, blindly just, do as you're told and be a good, faithful person without questioning. In fact, in these teachings, the more you question, I wonder if I could find that quote. The more you question, the more faith you will develop. So there's something called bright faith. Bright faith. This, I never know if it's backwards, but hopefully it's frontwards for you. This book, Faith by Sharon Salzberg. Awesome book. It's not very thick, beautifully, accessibly written, and fantastic. Fantastic. Trusting Your Own Deepest Experience is the subtitle. So most of what I'm saying is rooted in these teachings from Sharon. So helpful. Fantastic book. Yeah. Okay. So, bright faith. Bright faith. Let's talk about that. Yeah. Here, bright faith. Sharon, help me. From Sharon Salzberg. This state of love-filled delight in possibilities and eager joy at the prospect of actualizing them is known in Buddhism as bright faith. Bright faith goes beyond merely claiming that possibility for oneself to immersing oneself in it. With bright faith, we feel exalted as if we are lifted out of our normal sense of insignificance, thrilled as we no longer feel lost and alone. This part, the enthusiasm, energy, and courage we need in order to leave this safe path, to stop aligning ourselves with the familiar or the convenient. This arises with bright faith. It enables us to step out, step away, and see what we can make of our lives. With bright faith, we act on our potential to transform our suffering and live in a different way. So good. This is so beautiful. Love-filled delight in possibilities and eager joy at the prospect of actualizing them. But she goes on to say that this faith, that you've listed here, that touches the heart, it gives us the energy, the enthusiasm, and courage we need in order to leave the safe path. And this, to stop aligning ourselves with the familiar or the convenient. and this ties back into my conversations I was having with Tim, which brought about wanting to talk about faith, about, yeah, it's time to wake up. We've been shaken. We've shaken the tree. It's time to go against the stream. The stream of habit, the stream of our culture, the stream of our greed, hatred, and delusion. And, we've everything is upside down and flipped and shaken. And this is our opportunity, such a deep opportunity to stop aligning ourselves with familiar and convenient. And the courage, the energy to do this comes from bright faith. It enables us to step up, step out, step away, see what we can make of our lives, of our world. With bright faith, we act on our potential to transform our suffering and live in a different way. Sharon, so good. My goodness. That's so inspiring. Okay. So faith counters, balances doubt. And doubt is, there's different kinds of doubt, as there's different kinds of faith, but often doubt what's the word? Disables us isn't the right word, but overwhelms us when we are, it's a it can be a hindrance when we're, doubting ourselves, doubting our own personal ability to awaken, to transform, our ability to be kinder and wiser, our ability to grow and to be active. And so we can have personal doubt. We can have certainly cultural doubt in these systems that are falling apart. And so this is, one of these times when the doubt can be motivating, but if we start to feel overwhelmed by doubt, it can bring despair. When we are overwhelmed by despair, we can't act, we can't respond, we give up. And of course, we can have spiritual doubt. We can doubt our practice, like, as Marcus shared his faith in practice. Oftentimes folks have doubt in practice, like, what am I doing every day, sitting here, paying attention to my breath or whatever your practice is, and, what good's that doing? And we can have a lot of doubt about practice. And so this kind of bright faith energizes us to continue to be skillful and to not give up in a time where many of us may feel that. And faith is present to some degree in all of us, whether or not you identify as being a faithful person. That faith in our kind of everyday manifestation of that is just this kind of trustful confidence in your own values, your higher values, if you will. And so this is kind of what we were chatting about a little bit in the beginning here of, what do you have faith in? We have faith in our community, in our family, in our practice, in the nature of things, faith in basic goodness. So it's very important to identify and know, bring it to the fore what your values are. What do you rely on? What do you trust? So in these teachings, faith is more closely aligned with or defined by confidence or trust. So what do you have? What do you rely on? What's got your back? Who's got your back? Uh, as Supriya mentioned, nature. Yeah. Okay. Now. Oh yeah, this. I have too many pieces of paper here. This is lovely. The word for faith in Pali, for those that are interested, the language the teachings were first written down in is Pali, Pali, and the word that's translated as faith is Sada, Saddha, Sada. And Sada, in Pali, but also in Hebrew and Latin, is more like a verb than a noun. In blind faith, what we're not talking about here, but blind faith, I think that is like a noun. It's like you have it or you don't. You had faith, but you lost it. All that kind of stuff. It's like a thing. And here, faith is a verb in that it means to place the heart upon. How great is that? To set forth, to draw near. These all have an action quality, that it's something we do, it's something we cultivate, it's something we grow. It's not a singular state that we have or don't have. It's our willingness. This takes a lot of faith. Oh, makes me think of it makes me think of a dear friend and many people that have the courage and the faith to wake up again another day, to take the next step, to get dressed again, to that courage is just astounding to me. That no matter what we encounter, somehow there's this deep well or ground of faith that enables us to try again, to trust again, to love again. Amazing. So this is the action of faith to really, what is it do we call upon? There's some deep well of trust, of faith, of courage that says, try again, open the heart again, love again, trust again. That's extraordinary faith. So, okay. I want to also talk about verifying faith. So I started talking about blind faith, and then we're talking about bright faith, what the Buddha is teaching bright faith, which is there's a brightness of this energizing factor to it, of and a curiosity, But bright faith, like sometimes we can have experiences of bright faith that if it's not tempered by verifying faith, it can turn into blind faith because we've had like some great spiritual experience or and so then we might stop questioning again. And really, this needs to be tempered with, balanced with what's called verifying faith. Because the bright faith can become exuberant, unquestioning, exhilaration. And it has to be grounded, or it can lead us into blindly following. Yeah, there's been a few shows I watched lately about that type of bright faith that becomes blindly following into cults. So we need to weigh what others tell us, weigh anything I'm saying here, always, but against your own experience to balance devotion with self-respect, to question, to have these hard conversations, like Tim and I were talking about today, like to question things, challenge things, have conversations, in places where it's safe to do that. It's not always safe to do that, for sure. Okay. I'm talking too much. I hear you, Lee. Okay. Let me see what else I want to put in here. Okay. Maybe this is too much, but I find it also interesting. No, I'm going to go there. Okay. I want to share this. Oh, my poems. I've got 3 poems. All right, let's do 2 hours next time. No, don't do that. Okay, I got to share this story because we're going to practice metta, loving kindness, tonight when I stop talking. But this is also from Sharon's book, Faith. This is such a fantastic little story. So she's sharing here about when she teaches loving kindness on urban retreats. She asks the students to do walking meditation out on the streets. And at this one in California, they were across the street from the Amtrak train station. This is back when people were allowed to go on trains and hang out in public places together. In those days. So this woman, I'll just read it because when a train pulled in, one woman from the class noticed a man disembark and decided to make him the recipient of her loving kindness meditation. So she had asked folks to go and into a public place and practice their phrases, as we're going to do tonight, of loving kindness. So she sees this guy get off the train and chose him. Silently, to herself, she began reciting these phrases of loving kindness meditation for him, with him in her awareness. And almost immediately, she began judging herself. Oh, I must not be doing it right because I feel so distant. I don't have a great wash of warm feeling coming over me. Nonetheless, reaffirming her intention to look on all beings with kindness instead of estrangement, she continued reciting, "May you be happy. May you be peaceful. Um, Taking another look at the man who was dressed in a suit and a tie and seemed nervous, she began judging him. Oh, he looks rigid and uptight. Then judging herself, she thought, oh, here I am trying to send loving kindness to someone, and instead I'm disparaging him. Still, she continued repeating the phrases, aligning her energy with her deep intention to be a force of love in this world. And then at that moment, the man walked over to her and said, I've never done anything like this before in my life, but I'd like to, oh boy, I'm teary tonight. I'd like to ask you to pray for me. I'm about to face a very difficult situation in my life. You somehow seem to have a really loving heart, and I'd just like to know that you're praying for me. Sharon goes on to say, life can't be explained by a perfectly linear predictability. I thought this, so he felt that. It's a lot messier and more outrageous and more mysterious. However, this remarkable coincidence can still illustrate the point. Even though the woman didn't perform a concrete physical or verbal action, her commitment to positive intention apparently had an effect. This is a story of faith. Our personal, deep understanding of the transformative power of love and kindness, wisdom, connection, intention. On Saturday, I taught about wise intention. You can find that on there. And yeah, to me, this is a story of faith. All right, how we doing? I know. Okay. Let's start with a poem and then into practice. Oh, how will I pick one? These are both so good. Okay, I'll do one at the end and one now. Which one? Okay, this one. Of course. Who's this by? Yes, Rosemary Watola Tromer. I linked it down below with the link for True North Insight and myself. This one is called Almost to the Solstice. And I believe she wrote this in 2018. Timeless. It was inspired by a line in a Smith's song, There's a Light That Never Goes Out. Okay. Oh my goodness. So good. And even in these darkest days, in the darkest rooms, with the darkest thoughts, and the darkest words, with the darkest songs, in the dark full ears, and when the darkening dreams weighs the darkest fear, even then there's a light and it never goes out. Even then, when the eyes know only doubt, even then there's a hand eager to spill shine into our cup, and all we need to do is drink. Then pour a bit of shine for someone else. So let us practice. Please allow yourself to adjust your posture to get comfortable. You can lay down, stand, walk, sit. And as you're settling into your posture, allow your eyes to come to a place of resting so that you're turning your attention inward. And the eyes can be restful, either closed or just looking down. And as you're just settling into your posture, just feel if something is touched for you, stirred for you. This stirring of faith, perhaps, of these shared resonance that we've put in the chat. And then as your body begins to settle into your posture, just noticing or relaxing any extra tension that's showing that isn't needed right now, any contractions. Sometimes I find it helpful to think of my posture, my body being wide. So just letting the legs and arms fall a little bit wider. And then allowing a sense of dropping down and grounding and settling. So that when your posture feels a little more relaxed and present, grounded, as if there's a beautiful heart magnet in the area of the center of your chest. And just allow the attention to kind of gather in this area, the center of the chest. If at any time that feels too intense, you can just widen your awareness again to the whole body sitting. And if you're just feeling into this area of the center of the chest, just feel whatever sensations are available there right now. Sensations of movement, perhaps from whatever's felt there. There may be sensations of clothing touching part of the body. There can be sensations in this area of vibration or pulse. If this is an area that feels tender for you at this time, you might like to place a heart over this area of the heart center. Place your hand there and just give some loving touch. I'm thinking of my dear one that's had surgery in this area, that and for others of us that have experienced heartache or have felt a little bit of loosening in the discussion tonight, you might like to just place your hand on your heart. And to To do this practice of metta, bhavana, loving kindness, cultivation, you do not need to feel loving or kind right now. So whatever is felt here for you in this moment, you may feel grief, you may feel anger, fear, doubt, joy, faith. Whatever is present for you, you might feel numbness. All of that is totally okay. Let however it is be. And just become intimate. How is this? How is the heart right now? And then we begin this practice of cultivating, growing this kind relationship with ourselves. We begin this with ourselves. Just touching into the wish, the deepest wish you have for happiness. May I be happy. For safety. May I be safe. For wellness. May I be well. For peace. To stay resting with this wish for yourself. This is a practice of faith to place the heart upon. Place your awareness on your heart. Draw near. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be peaceful. And then if you've lost that sense of connection with your heart center, you can kind of re-stoke that fire, touch into what is felt here now, any sensations that are present, even the sensation of numbness, it can be known as a sensation. And now bring into awareness, heart and mind awareness, perhaps someone you know that's experiencing a great deal or some degree of doubt, of this perhaps they're feeling crippled by doubt or hindered by doubt, overcome with doubt. You could think of a group of people or an individual. And then just like the person on the platform of the Amtrak train station, with these other beings in our awareness, we cultivate these same wishes in our own heart. in relation to others, this deep wish, may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. And you can just rest with the sensation, the intention, this wish that you're cultivating in the heart. Or you can keep repeating the phrases silently to yourself. If your attention has moved away, just come back to feeling into the heart center or repeating phrases. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be peaceful. And now we'll continue cultivating, growing this capacity, this intention. Just feel the sense of connection with each other here on this video, and also others that may watch it at a future time that are listening in. And these are, we have a heart thread, a heart connection of our intention, or we wouldn't be showing up here practicing and sharing on this topic of faith. We have this shared intention. So just feeling this sense of community and connection, friendliness, confidence, and trust. And we can extend that feeling to the awareness that at this very moment, in many other parts around the world, there are others practicing metta, loving kindness, right now. And they are included in our awareness as we are included in their awareness. These wishes for happiness, safety, wellness, peace, And this practice has been practiced for thousands and taught for thousands of years, back to the Buddha 2,600 years ago. So allow yourself to feel that sense of support, of confidence, of community, connection. And include in your awareness your other communities of family and friends and work community, social communities, activist community. Awareness of our fellow companions in this experience of nature that we call our life, which is shared with all of the animal beings and insect and the earth itself. Just keep drawing in, gathering into your awareness all these different beings. And then include those who are suffering, those who are causing suffering. Include those who are yet to be born. And allow yourself to grow this deep wish, which calls us into action. May all beings everywhere be safe. May all beings everywhere know true wellness in body and mind and heart. May all beings everywhere be free from suffering. And may I have the faith, the bright faith and the verified faith to continue on a path of wisdom and kindness. So we have about 5 minutes left here. If anybody would like to share other thoughts on what you have faith in, what you're confident in, what your values are, which is part of your faith. And I'll read the second poem. Thinking of Sandra's window ledge that's covered in orchids. This desperate week, the orchid reminds me. This is the title of this poem from Rosemary Watola Tromer. You'd think she pays me, but she doesn't. It looked dead, the orchid. After long, extravagant glory, the blossom dropped quickly, one by one. The stem shriveled, dried. Every time I looked at it, all I saw was what wasn't there. People said it would reset. They said it needed rest, a little bit of extra care. But 8 months later, the plant still looked dead. There are times we lose hope, times when our eyes tell us we're fools to believe beyond what we see here now. But from what seemed like nothing, a long, dark stem appeared lined with buds. And what a fool I was to doubt, to let the eyes lie to me. Already they've remembered how to see what will be. Already they remembered how to see the beauty of exactly what is here. Marcus is sharing the faith in the power of music to heal. Absolutely. And nature. Oh, that's great, Sandra. When Sandra looks at her orchids, she always sees what is coming. That's beautiful. Yeah, so I linked that poem down below as well. The Desperate Week. This desperate week, the orchid reminds me. So this takes practice, faith. It is an action. It takes community. It takes questioning, and it takes and it calls us to act, to respond, to step up, to step out. And the faith gives us the energy and courage to do this. We act on our potential to transform our suffering and live in a different way. So I did this again. Right at the top of my page, I wrote, introduce yourself and True North Insight, and I didn't do it again. So faith and the energy surrounding us to help us heal. Yes, energy within and around us, and how that energy is affected by our state of mind can be also important. Action, community, and practice. Thank you, Supriya. So down below, you'll see there's sometimes there's a little arrow. You can click more information, and you'll find a link for True North Insight. And did you see that True North Insight, Forbes magazine has listed these online offerings and True North Insight itself as one of the top 10 online mindfulness meditation practices that are available. So that was super cool. So to support True North Insight, because we are not able to offer our retreats right now, but we're still putting on all of this stuff, you'll find that link down below. There's also a link to support me, as this is my work now, is offering these and also supporting people privately if you want support with your practice. And the poems are linked down below as well. And if you have other topics you want me to speak about, you could let me know. I might, faith is the first of what's called the 5 spiritual faculties. So I might go through the other 4, which are energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Yeah, maybe. Hey, Natalie. Faith is a verb, laying my heart on or towards something. Right on. Yeah, it's a different version of faith, right? So thank you, Buddha, for teaching about faith. And thank you all for having the faith to show up again, even though sometimes it glitches, and it worked tonight. I'll be back here Saturday, 9 o'clock. Thank you for being here. Good night.